What is up guys, I'm Phoenix Master 1 and welcome back to my banner review series for Fire Emblem Heroes. In this series I review a banner and tell you if it's worth something on or not. I also analyze the new units in that banner and tell you how good they are and how I feel about them. So we recently got Children of Fate banner featuring 2nd gen Fates units like Soleil, Siegbert and Shiro. Let's begin with the most popular unit from this banner, Soleil. She's an offensive monster in Heroes. She has got base 38 attack and that's actually 1 point higher than Chrom, who's known to be one of the hardest hitting sword units in the game. So Soleil has got the second highest base attack in the game after Effie. With Fire Sweep Sword she reaches 53 attack, which is impressive to be honest, and Soleil's speed is also really high at base 35, so she can double a lot of units after running something like Darting Blow or Life and Death. And plus speed IV is basically the best boon for Soleil because she already hits so hard, so having more speed means that she can quad attack units with her Brave Sword set and double units with Wood Out Plus and Fire Sweep Sword set. And if you refine Wood Out Plus with Speed Refinery, then it's gonna be really good with plus speed IV. So if you get a plus speed Soleil, that's just amazing for you. Her defenses are not too shabby either. 37 HP and 28 defense is pretty decent while having slightly below average res at 24, so she isn't really a glass cannon per se. It's just that she's a very strong player face unit who can comfortably take hits if need be. Her base stat total is 162, which is same as some of the dragons in the game. She isn't really a trainee or a villager in her own game, but still she's got the boosted BST, which is something which we have started to see recently after Fire Emblem 4 banner. Units just have boosted base stat total for no canonical reason. Her default weapon is Fire Sweep Sword Plus, which has got 15 might, which is pretty high. It's got the same might as a silver sword. Fire Sweep Sword cannot be refined, so that's a thing. Her special is Blazing Wind, which is a 4-turn cooldown special that is an area on effect special. Nothing really too impressive, good for arena points I guess. Something like Draconic Aura is much better for her as it can actually be activated during the combat, unlike an area on effect special like Blazing Wind. So that's the thing with area on effect specials, you are not able to get a lot of 1-round KOs with them like you would if you ran something like an offensive special. Her slotted skill is Darting Blow, which synergizes well with Fire Sweep Sword Plus, because usually with Fire Sweep weapons you want to have more speed on your unit that has got that weapon so that you can double your enemy and get most out of that combat and poke them for a lot of damage. Darting Blow does just that. It's a good option. Her slot skill is Drive Res, which provides decent support to her allies. Range units, especially mages like Reinhardt, Nino, are really annoying in arena, so Drive Res might come in handy for one of your allies when it comes to surviving a hit from them. She can also stack up her Drive Res with Fortify Res Sacred Seal to provide a better support if you want to, and her base kit is pretty good outside of her special, but you can always invest into her more so that she can reach her maximum potential. She can run various swords due to her monstrous offensive spread. If you're running Fire Sweep Sword Plus, then Life and Death is her best slotted skill, as her bulk is irrelevant with a Fire Sweep weapon as you're a sitting duck in the enemy phase either way and cannot retaliate back. So there's no point of preserving your bulk for the most part, so Life and Death can be run. For slot B you can run Drag Back to retreat or just run Sword Breakers so that you can double Mia and Ira in arena. Those two units are really common in arena, especially Ira. Soleil can also run a Wood Out Plus set with a Speed Refining. It's even better for a plus speed Soleil actually. For that you can use Darting Blow or Swift Sparrow if you're using Fire Sweep Sword. Soleil can also work in the enemy phase with a distant counter Sling Edge set, which has been speed refined. She can work just as well as a Fury Ryoma in the enemy phase with that set. So she is a pretty versatile unit and there are many ways of building her. Overall she is a top tier sword unit who has got an insane offensive spread and can also take hits from the enemies in the enemy phase if you do decide to run a set for that. Even if you get a minus attack Soleil, do not get discouraged as 35 base attack is still very good and she would just function as a normal Hana at that point. And if you get a minus speed Soleil, then you can just go with a Death Blow Brave Sword set. Soleil is one of those units who can work really well with a budget set and she works insanely well with a highly invested set. It's just about the commitment to her. Due to her Fire Sweep Sword, she can poke units pretty easily and weaken them quite a lot if she fails to kill them. If you get multiple Soleils, then you can always fodder her off for her Fire Sweep Sword, and these are some of the units who can make great use of it. Hannah is an incredible fire sweep sword user, and a dancer like Olivia can provide more utility to your team as she will be able to poke and weaken the enemy safely for your team if you need that. So that was Soleil's analysis. Now let's move on to her liege, Siegbert. Siegbert is the best unit from this banner. He's got a ridiculous offensive spread while being on a horse. Base 34 attack and base 35 speed is just insane while being on a horse, and that is just one attack point less compared to Blazing Durandal Brave Roy. Siegbert is easily one of the best offensive cavaliers in the game along with Brave Roy. Unlike Brave Roy, Siegbert has a better physical bulk with 41 HP and 31 defense. It's quite respectable actually, and he can take physical hits decently well compared to Brave Roy. His res is horrendous. He will get vaporized if a little girl like Nino sneezes in his direction, so yeah, it's pretty bad for him in that regard. When I first thought of Siegbert being in the game, I thought that he would be a better version of his father with something like Divine Siegfried, because Intelligent Systems refuses to release Xander again with his Grand Hero battle, so I thought they would make him a more tankier version of Xander and try to give that to us instead of giving Xander's Grand Hero battle, but nope. Siegbert is completely opposite of his father. He's extremely offensive thanks to his Dark Great Sword, which is a legendary weapon and it cannot be inherited to anyone. It has got Swift Sparrow 2 built into it, so whenever he initiates an attack, he gets +4 attack and +4 speed, which is quite ridiculous. His special is Dragon Fang, which is decent with his high attack, but its cooldown is longer than what a lot of people would want, so Draconic Aura is much better for him if you're not going to be running Heavy Blade on him. His slot skill is Death Blow, so along with the sword's buff, when he initiates an attack, he gets +10 attack and +4 speed, essentially reaching 60 attack and 39 speed unboosted, so that is pretty insane for player phase. This makes him have a better raw damage output compared to Brave Roy out of the box. Death Blow is a great option for his slot A actually, so it's pretty good. His slot C skill is Attack Tactic. Its in-game description is quite confusing, so I'll explain to you with an example. So here we have got Xander, Siegbert, Shigure, and Soleil. Xander, despite being on a horse with 3 movement, gets that Attack Tactic buff, and Shigure and Soleil also get that, but here in this example, I've got 3 infantry units and none of them get the attack tactic buff despite them only having 2 movement. Well, the thing is that with attack tactic, you can only have maximum of 2 units with the same movement range. On the first example, I only had Soleil and Shigure as units with 2 movement, so they got the buff. But on the second example, I had 3 units with same 2 movement, so it didn't work. Basically, this skill promotes mixed movement emblem, so it will work if you've got 2 infantry, 1 horse unit, 2 horse units and 1 infantry unit, or 2 flying unit, 1 armored unit, 2 armored units with 1 horse unit, and stuff like that will work. Once again, I'll repeat, it only works if you've got only 2 units with the same movement range. If there are more than 2 units with the same movement range, then it will not work and nobody will get the buffs. Hopefully that cleared up things. For skill intent, Siegbert can run Swift Sparrow as a slot A skill and it's the best option for him honestly, but if you cannot give that to him, then Death Blow and Darting Blow also work. For slot B, Desperation can be run. Do not run Life and Death on him because that ruins his melee matchups, which is pretty important for a melee range unit. If you're gonna be running Heavy Blade and Gale Force, then he can perform just like Brave Roy. He's a really powerful unit with amazing movement and he can be a red unit for a Horse Emblem team, and it's just that you will have to remove Attack Tactic because it's gonna be useless on a Horse Emblem team. I can also see him being incredibly useful in Grand Hero battles and Bounty Hero battles due to his bulk, movement, and raw power. Definitely a top tier unit in my opinion. Siegbert can work on mixed movement teams, like you can have some weak units like Felicia who can check a mage like Reinhardt for Siegbert, and Siegbert can provide power to them with Attack Tactic. Similarly, Faye can also check Reinhardt for Siegbert as he's going to be really annoying for him. Siegbert is actually quite good with a Blade Tome Hyper Offense team as he can provide +6 attack to a Blade Tome unit, and that can make mages like Nino literal nukes, and its 2 range is also really helpful. Now let's move on to the final unit from this banner. It's gonna be Shiro. Shiro has got a good base attack of 35, Below average speed of 30 and a really good defense stat, his HP is not really high enough to abuse something like Panic Ploy unless you get a plus HP IV on him or Summoner support him. He's a great enemy phase unit, and by looking at his stats and weapon alone, you can tell that he's a power crept version of Lucas. His weapon Bright Naginata provides him +4 attack and +4 defense in the enemy phase. I have highlighted that because it's easy to mistake it for Sturdy Blow as soon as you read +4 attack and +4 defense. With this and Steady Stance, he can reach 45 defense in the enemy phase, which is pretty similar to what Lucas can do with Fortress Defense. His assist skill is Swap, which is good for a frontline unit like him, as they can switch places with a glass cannon who has just attacked and can move them out of the range of the enemy and instead go in the range of the enemy. Steady Stance is a slotted skill which is really good for a tank like him, and Steady Stance provides good synergy to his best slot B skill, Quick Riposte, as it will make easier for him to stay in the Quick Riposte range. His slot C skill is Defense Tactic and works just like Siegbert's Attack Tactic, but Attack Tactic gives a better buff in +6 attack. His default kit is really good, and all you need to do is run something like Bonfire or Igneous and Quick Riposte and you'll be good to go. Steady Breath of course is his best slotted skill, like how it is for a lot of enemy phase units, as Steady Breath is a really good skill and he can abuse Igneous or Ether with Steady Breath. Speaking of Steady Breath, if you get multiple Shiros, then you can actually use him to inherit Steady Stance and then use Brave Ike to pass down both Ether and Steady Breath to a unit, which previously could only be done if you sacrifice a 4-star Black Knight, and Black Knight is a limited unit. It's just an option I guess if you end up with multiple Shiros and multiple Brave Ikes. Passing down Steady Breath and Ether at once is pretty cool actually. Shiro is an amazing tank and great enemy phase unit. He's a solid lance unit. Now I will give you guys my final verdict on this banner. The best unit from this banner is Siegbert, followed by Soleil, and at last Shiro. I'm not going to be giving any kind of rating to this banner because as of late we have been getting all good banners, so the ratings don't really hold up to much value if you are just going to be getting a lot of good units on the banners. If you're a free-to-play player, then you can save your orbs for the Christmas banner instead of spending your orbs on this banner, because the last two seasonal banners, Halloween banner and Performing Arts banner, were really good and brought something new to the table, so we might get something really good on the Christmas banner which we have not seen before. A Legendary Hero Summon banner is also going to be coming out at the end of this month, and since it was disaster for a lot of people, it's debatable whether you want to save your orbs for that or not, depending on how your luck was on the previous 8-person Legendary Hero Summon banner. But the Christmas banner is the main focus right here. If you've got Brave Roy already, then you don't really have to bother with Siegbert unless you really like him as a character. And Shiro is good but isn't really worth summoning just for him. And if you want Soleil, then just hear me out. Heroes with Fire Sweep Weapon is a banner which is eventually going to be released with Roderick and Faye. We just know that it's going to be released because we recently got a Woda Plus type of banner, and on that Fire Sweep banner you will have a safer chance to get Soleil, because on this banner she shares the same color with Siegbert, so if you try to get Soleil on this banner, then you just might end up summoning a Siegbert on this banner. So if you want to save orbs and also want Soleil, then just wait for the Fire Sweep banner. We know that it's eventually gonna get released sooner or later. Also, you lose nothing by waiting till last 2-3 days of this banner, because before this banner ends we will get a Christmas banner trailer most likely, so then you can decide if you want to have the Christmas units or the Fates kits. It's just a better way to do it if you're a free-to-play player, in my opinion. Also, there's gonna be no way that you're not gonna be having a bonus unit for Arena, because Fiorm is gonna be a bonus unit for the next 2 weeks and she provides more points than any of these banner units. So just wait, in my opinion. Do not hastily summon on this banner. The Christmas banner might have something really good in store for us. So if you're after Soleil, like I said, heroes with Fire Sweep Weapon will eventually get released. So again, you'll have your chance to get Soleil while saving some orbs right now. So that's going to conclude my banner review of Children of Fate. If you enjoyed, then please be sure to leave a like, and if you haven't already, then make sure to subscribe so that you do not miss out on the future Fire Emblem Heroes content which I'm going to be uploading. So with that being said, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.
Crystal clear.